So this is my PhD and I feel like it's a useless piece of paper, honestly. I spent like 4 years to get this, and I worked at university, I worked in a company as a researcher, as a scientist, and I quit completely and I'm making videos. I do marketing, business, and I am super happy. Honestly, I'm super happy and I feel like I did the right choice. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I quit and should you quit your job, and should you change your career? Should you stay in the same path or you go to the pathless path? And how to discover what you are passionate about. You may be stuck at your job. You may not happy. You may feel like your degree is useless. And I'm going to share my perspective and it may be helpful for you as well. So please subscribe to this channel and like this video for the YouTube algorithm, please. So why I quit? To answer that simply, because I was not happy. I was completely depressed, honestly. I was working at university. I was not like there completely. For example, I am in a meeting, like they are talking about science, talking about graphs, atoms, and I'm just like dead there. I was just like no feeling, like no passion for that kind of science thing. And it was not just suddenly like I became like sad about it or like not happy with I was there. It's just because it built up for years. Like, and it started from my PhD. When I was doing my PhD, at the beginning I was very excited, and then like some problems happened, some challenges, and I had to extend my PhD for 1 more year. And in the middle of it, every day I want to give up, every day, literally. And even I had a friend who gave up his PhD and back to Algeria at the time, and I was not happy. I was like, and I started asking other PhDs, other postdocs, like what they are doing after they graduating, and the reality hit me. Like, it was difficult to get jobs. It was like low salaries. Beside that, also like the more I worked around academia or doing research, it's just not fun environment. And I'm not like saying like PhDs are useless. I have a lot of successful friends who are doing it, but they still struggling, like, because like around academia, it's not easy to get permanent position, especially in Japan here. I think everywhere. I talked to hundreds of them, and most of them, they are not happy. They want to transition to companies, or they want to completely change their career, but they get stuck. When you get stuck in a job, and just because you have a degree and you feel like you have to stay in that path, let's say a PhD, you become like assistant professor and become professor, and I don't know what you become in the future, like Nobel Prize or blah blah, but nothing wrong with it. But it's just feel like that path, it was just like designed by society, designed by kind of I don't know, just because others have been doing it. And sometimes, like, I mean, it's good if you are happy doing it, but if you are not happy, it's become very hard like to quit that path. And for me, it's been for years. Since my PhD, I never wanted to stay in science, honestly. Even when I got that piece of paper, I was not even happy. I was like, okay, I share it with my family, okay, take picture, okay, I'm a doctor now. I was like, no feeling. Literally, I could burn this one. I don't say right now, it's just like probably it could be useful like in future when I'm having kids or something, and I tell them, yeah, your daddy is kind of smart or something, you know. Maybe I teach them something or two. I like science, but I was not happy around that environment. Even they are nice people, professors, or I go to conferences, exchange, like, for example, idea, innovation things, but I was not there. I felt like it's not the right thing for me. And I tried to change it completely. Like after PhD, I applied for marketing jobs. I loved marketing, social media, advertisement, and I wanted to be a marketer. But it was hard. It was hard, like, because my resume, like when I applied for jobs around marketing, I remember the time, 2016, 17, 18, and they see my resume, like it's just science and, you know, university stuff. And even though at the time I had skills, I know how to build websites. I learned how to kind of, you know, do advertisement, do SEO, do everything related to like, you know, social media marketing strategies. I learned all that by myself, just like self-learning. I was watching YouTube videos, taking courses, you know, and I spent hours and hours late night just watching this and excited about it. And that's how you find your passion. That's how I found I like marketing, I like social media, I like, you know, anything related to it. I just spent hours literally and until like midnight, like 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm just like watching these videos and I'm excited. Oh man, I wish I'd be there. But I couldn't. At that time, it took me years like to get accepted, like, you know, in marketing position. And I had to start my own business just to get some portfolio to add it into my resume, just to apply for jobs. Like, it was a long process. So just because of that, I had to do a lot of work. I had to learn a lot of new skills. And the tipping point where I had to really quit, it was when I lost my brother. And I decided like I have to do whatever it takes, because my brother died in 2019, and technically now I'm older than him. And that hit me. Like I felt like it could be me. It was just an accident for my brother. And that taught me like life is short. I just have to do it. So I focused like more, because before when I was doing business, online business, I was just treating it as a side hustle just to make extra money. And just after work, I work a couple hours on my own business, even small business, like doing drop shipping, doing advertisement for others. But I had to push that barrier from taking my business to side, like, from side to the freedom. And I started making good money, and then I decided to quit my job. And this doesn't, maybe it doesn't apply to you. Maybe you don't want to, just you want to quit just to start a business. You could be even changing your career. Let's say you could be a teacher and you could change to IT. Everything is possible in this life. And that led me to the next point, what's called the pathless path. There is different ways to succeed. You don't have to stuck by just, because society told you, or because, everybody doing the same thing. You graduate, you gotta follow that. I'm gonna be a teacher forever in my life. My dad was elementary school teacher, and he spent all his life doing that. I respect him a lot, but at the end of his career, he hated being a teacher. He spent like 27 years or maybe 30 years, and then in the last 3 years just to get his retirement, and he quit. He said he can't do it anymore. And I see a lot of people like doing the same thing, and even they stuck in that path, but they still complain a lot, but they don't take action. Sometimes they don't have options. Like if you have a family, you have kids, you have to provide for them. But for me, I'm not married. But speaking of that, you have to push yourself. Like if you're not happy, you have to do something about that. And that's why I quit. I decided, just like, I gotta do it. And the pathless path, there's a book about it. I read partially about it, like where you should not be ashamed. You should not be afraid to take a different path just because, society. Like I had friends where their doctor, like their dads, they are doctors, so their kids become just doctors. And because there's a big influence from their parents, or because influence because of their society. And you should not be ashamed to quit or change your path. For me, part of me, like I was also ashamed to quit, because when I back to my to my country, like small hometown, everybody knows me. I'm the only doctor like in Japan, and they think I'm super smart. They think I'm just a scientist talking about science stuff, and they ask me like, yeah, give me advice, blah blah. And I'm like, man, I'm just a weird person on social media making videos, like reacting to memes or something. I'm not the person like and I don't have to take that. I was stressed even to tell my family. After I quit university, I didn't even tell my family. Like they have no idea. Even until now, I still lie to them. I tell them, oh yeah, I'm around science stuff, doing stuff. I switched it from university, but I still lie to them because I'm sure they don't care. But I just felt like shame to my mom, like respect doctors and at university stuff. My dad, something like that. They respect scientists. I respect scientists too. I'm one of them, but I just felt like I can't do that anymore. And you should not be ashamed also. Like nothing wrong with admitting that you're not happy doing something just because you have a degree. That doesn't mean also like degrees are useless, honestly. Even making this video, I'm not saying like don't do PhDs. Even deep down, I don't want anybody to do PhDs, honestly. But I still like respect PhDs. I still respect science. Maybe in future I will back to it. Just like for passion, just not about money, not about career, not just like to do something kind of to stay around the innovation, or maybe even like teaching, like kind of maybe I don't do the research, maybe just like for when I'm super old and just talking to like young generation, trying to have impact. And the last point I'm going to be talking about is discovering your passion, how to find what you are passionate about. I remember I was 29 years old having like this PhD here in my hand, and I'm asking myself what I'm going to be, even though I decided I wanted to switch. But I had the marketing and business I did to switch my career, but the truth is I had no idea what to do. I was like stuck, man. If I don't get accepted in marketing and business position, what I'm gonna do? And it's pretty hard. 29 years old, I feel like a failure holding my PhD, and then now what? literally now what? But I felt like at the time I was like, passion is just like more like food. You just have to try many things. You have to taste a lot of food, just to find your favorite thing. And sometimes maybe it takes you a long time, because if you want to kind of put that analogy, like, okay, it's like food. It takes you a long time to try many things, but you should push yourself. Like for me, like I was spending hours and hours, like watching YouTube videos, like reading some books, like checking like videos on TED Talks and this kind of stuff, motivation videos, and people like explaining to you how to find it. And I tried, like, for example, I was listening like people in e-commerce, dropshipping, advertisement, cryptocurrency, trading, more like related to fields I enjoyed, like, around social media. But not all of them I like it. I like it more like e-commerce and advertisement stuff. But so you have to try many things, and you have to spend hours and hours, And another fact also, like I was doing, like, I go to LinkedIn, I check people profiles. For example, this person like graduated from this university with this degree and took this job, then do this next job, and I check their careers because I was lost, honestly. I was lost, and I had no training. I had no mentorship at that time, how to find jobs or how to, find your path, etc. I was just like the pathless, the pathless person, and that's even the pathless is like you feel freedom, but it's scary at the same time because you feel lost. Like, hopefully you learned, like, something or two from my video. So please subscribe to this channel and like this video, and I'm going to be talking more about this topic in future videos as well. Thank you for watching.